Hello, everybody. It's Friday. I am somewhat back to being human. Uh, Boy, do I sound like crap. Yes. Look like crap. Affirmative. I caught this cold, and if it was just a cold, I would have been back on. And I know many of you have not slept, and the world is not the same because I had a cold that it's the proverbial summer cold, and you got all this crap going around, and then the weather gets hot, which exacerbates it and all that. All right, enough the reason why. And by the way, when I feel like shit and when I am like, which I still do, but I'm at least tolerable, I don't go on radio or TV or whatever and talk about my illness in length and try to get sympathy, which a lot of people do. I don't do that. And I'm not trying to be holier than thou and ask for anything, but I'm letting you know that indeed I really truly was and still feel like crap. But several of you have asked. Thank you for caring. Some of you who, even though you can't stand me, inquire. It's all the people that come here, and a lot of them are trolls. And they're the first people to complain if I don't have a couple of broadcasts up. And I'm not sucking up or trying to be holier than thou, but it's the truth. In any event, okay, let's get to what's been taking place. By the way, that Trump speech last night, I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was brilliant. I was laughing my ass off. And I'm not a Trumper, but a lot of the things what he says make a lot of sense. And I don't want to go off on politics, but he made me laugh. And then, of course, these pundits, especially on CNN, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They go on this whole, oh, that's one of the reasons why the guy is so popular with a lot of people who are fed up because he doesn't talk like a politician, and he's frank and he's blunt. And again, a lot of the shit I don't agree with, like many of you, but he's funny, and I'm laughing my ass off. Okay, enough about quasi politics. So, this whole Betty U thing, I've been talking about it since it happened. She was gone for almost 3 months, the beginning of the year at KPIX. She's sick. She was in the hospital, which, was truthful. And all the while, as she got better, she was negotiating with KTVU, Fox 2. And she got a gig with Fox 2, and she's now on KTVU. So I've been meaning to talk about this, but I got my cold, my summer mildew. And I've talked to a lot of people, and they tell me this Lisa White, another female, which is not an issue, but maybe it is, at KTVU. And there's, of course, the female news director, vice president at NBC, Stephanie Adroni, and of course, our good friend Tracy Watkowski Silva at Channel 7, ABC7, just for the facts. But Lisa White has been in Bay Area news for decades. She's always been a perennial number two. Now I'm beginning to know why, perhaps. But from what I'm hearing now, Betty U, who is not such a great, breath of fresh air, she's better than average. I've always said this. She's attractive. She's semi-smart. She has an idea, had an interview, yada, yada, yada. I've said all that. And so she took the job at KTVU. They gave her a little bit better money, and they very much wanted her. And like a lot of reporters, some anchors who come and go at PIX, there seemed to be a mystery. Why are all these people all of a sudden vanishing or gone or absent? Or why do they all have problems? Why are the reporters especially always gone or AWOL or whatever at Channel 5, which used to be a hell of a station? Many respects, it still is. CBS San Francisco, as they call themselves these days, Bay Area. There is a lot of animosity at Betty White. Betty you no, at Lisa White. Betty White. Boy, that's stretching it, huh? Betty White. Oh my God. Uh, Lisa White. And most of you people don't know who Lisa White. I've never met this woman, but she's got an ego. Duh. She's got this, you know, ruling complex that kind of don't fuck with me kind of a deal. And that's fine. But when it integrates itself within your personnel, the people that work ostensibly with you, for you, and when it affects morale in the newsroom, and apparently that's the case, then you have problems. And this constant shuffle at PIX, they're not the only ones, but it's really prevalent at CBS SF. And now I'm beginning to hear, again, out of nowhere, unsolicited tips from some sources that Lisa White played a huge part in Betty Yu's decision to use her sickness, not wholeheartedly, but she had time on her hands. She was negotiating with the firm and she ended up at Channel 2. So you see all these new reporters at PIX. Some of these people, they literally, I don't know who they are. I don't watch TV news as much anymore because I don't have the time. And frankly, what I've seen, it's not worthy of my time. I try to be fair. I try to watch people, especially new people, and that's the case at PIX. So Betty Yu, I just wish, I've said this in the past, I wish she was more transparent. I wish she told her friends, and by the way, a lot of her friends wish the same, that while she was sick, that she was negotiating with Channel 2. She wanted out, fine. At least tell your friends, Betty. You don't have to, but it would have been the professional courtesy kind of a deal. Because a lot of your friends don't know what happened. Well, now they do, if they hadn't heard already. Let's go over to Channel 7 at 900 Front. And they're all screwed up too. There are a lot of people on it. A lot of people at Channel 7, they really want out of that place. Nobody wants to work there anymore. It's like a lot of stations. Nobody loves working there. And this whole Disney, what a bunch of a-holes, assholes, excuse me, Disney. You know, I call it at Channel 7. Most of the people working there right now, I'm talking on camera, I call it the zombies. They show up, they have no emotion, they have no personality. It's all Disney crapola. Building a better Bay Area is such a bunch of fucking bullshit. And that's what it is. It's a company slogan that purports to be something involving the community. Meanwhile, Channel 7, they don't do any community programming. Where are they? It's all bullshit. It's all phony Disney propaganda. And Julian Glover, this schmuck that they got from Cleveland, who thinks his shit doesn't stink, who thinks he's the second coming of Max Jennings from ABC. They're on to you, Julian. They're on to you. We all know why you got the gig at KGO. Everybody knows. You're a good snitch, not a great one, but a good one. And everybody knows, and everybody's kind of paranoid. So I guess in that respect, you're doing your job. Congratulations to you. Building a better snitch, building a better Bay Area snitch. So the people at Channel 7 who have no emotion, who have no passion, who have no feelings of commitment. I mean, this whole thing with Michael Finney, what a joke that is too. And by the way, Michael Finney is probably headed for either a settlement of some sort or an age discrimination suit versus Disney. This is the guy that nobody gives a damn, at least people in the television news biz locally. But he very much thinks, I can't tend to agree based on what I've heard, that he was screwed with by the senior management people at Disney and ABC7. Michael Finney, of course, was let go or he quit or something happened. He hasn't been on the air for 4 months. Guess what? He doesn't work there anymore. I said it here first. I'm only telling you that as a matter of fact. But Michael Finney, the seven on your side consumer guy, that is headed for litigation. And then when I hear more, I will tell you what's going on. In the same building at 900 Front, we have Cron, which just lost its general manager, Jim Rose. Oh my God, the world is not sleeping. You know, what a phony you are too, Jim Rose. Yeah, you really helped Cron out. You were a nomad for 3 years. You did nothing. You did not lead. And Next Star, which I have no sympathy for either, by the way, they were going to get ready to can your ass, but you did them a favor. You agreed to leave. They had a willing participant. They didn't even have to go further. I'm sure you got a few shekels from Next Star. But Cron, you know, nobody watches Cron anymore. They were a serviceable second, third, fourth D-lister. I complimented them on the fact that they weren't pretending to be anything other than what they were, which was a scarce, personality-less anchor schlum factory, an independent with also no passion, no direction, no missive, no plan for the future, which is always good when you have a general manager who takes that job as meaningful or meaningless that it pays and what it is, at least has the gumption to lead and to deal with what you have and what they've given you, not what you think you should have. In any event, Cron is back to being Cron with measly reporters, some decent anchors, but a lot of leftovers, lots of breadcrumbs, alfalfa sprouts, crap. Cron. We watch them when we're sitting in the car dealership in the service department waiting for our service to end. They usually have Cron on. Why? Because they're not offensive and they have a morning show that's not Channel 2, another stupid company, Fox 2. But Cron is back to being Cron. You would think somebody over there that has some modicum of direction, or I don't even want to say passion, that would be too heavy duty a word, but some feelings of what's taking place. Does anybody in this fucking Bay Area, does anybody have any degree of care? I know I'm naive in that department, but seriously, you want to know why the numbers are down and why the Chronicle, which is still a great high school newspaper, is so shitty? Have you seen the physical? I haven't read the Chronicle printed paper in over a year now. And by the way, I subscribe to the electronic Chronicle. Why? Because where else am I going to go? You got to have some degree of knowledge of what's happening in the Bay Area in the news. So I put aside all my ill feelings about the Chronicle, but they're such a joke. The physical paper is so slim now. Fans of Karen Carpenter are even marveling. My God, what a joke. And I can't read any of these other alternative papers. I'm talking about the electronic papers. They're the shits too. The SF Standard. All right, they're okay. It's an electronic online paper. That's kind of an oxymoron. They're electronic, they're online. It's mostly San Francisco, but there's nothing interesting. You know what we lack too in this market with regards to papers? There's no really decent columnist anymore. At least with the Chronicle, when it was a joke, which it has been for years, but they had Herb Cain and Art Hop and Rosenbaum and Spander and Scott Osler, they still have, but at least it was worth Reading, no more. Joke. Finally, so what I was going to just say, Cron, just so uninspiring, so uninteresting. They got these mundane mutts reporters, and they don't know what the hell to do with their anchors. Again, no direction, no pragmatism. Although with pragmatism, could you put that word in the same sentence with Cron? My goodness. Finally, KNBR, the nepotism radio. What a disgrace. On Thursday, they had Michael Silver, their alleged football writer. He was on filling in from 10 to 2 with his son, some kid named Silver. I forgot what his first name is. Look, it's mediocre at best. Silver thinks he's the greatest thing since I'm talking about the elder Silver. It's a joke. KNBR is a joke. And the only reason why they had that bump in their ratings was because they're not 105.3 the game, or nine, excuse me, 105. 95.7 the game, 105.3 live, 105. God, how did I mix that up? It's all the same. It's crap. We have no radio in the Bay Area. We have no radio. No news talk, no variety, no information. We have the shit show that is KCBS, which is dropping, cratering into the radio abyss because people finally have woken up or awoken. I don't know what's right. Did I use the right words? Probably not. I feel like shit. KCBS is another disgrace, a joke, putting on all these breadcrumbs. Have you heard? If you turn on KCBS, just turn it on. Turn it on right now or whenever. You'll either hear a traffic report or more likely a commercial. That's all they run. Commercials, commercials, commercials. And now, as they prepare to get rid of sports, and they're going to get rid of traffic overnight, all these people that you hear on KCBS when they're not at commercials are just basic people. Literally, they got off the street. They picked up from somewhere. They pay them hourly, and most of them leave. The good people at KCBS, and they're so few, are only there. Some of them are not that good, by the way. They're only there so they can get to whatever destination and then split, retire, take a buyout offer. Kim Wonderly, I'll give her credit. She stuck around for many, many years. She's the traffic anchor in the morning. Kim Wonderly, any day now, is going to split. She's just accruing her needed time so where she could retire, get a good pension from the union. She's on her way out. Everybody is on their way out. Anybody with any kind of dignity or professionalism or any iota of cred wants to get the hell out of KCBS. Look at their ratings. I didn't link it, but look at the latest ratings that you can get online. Just Google SF radio ratings. They are tumbling because they have, again, speaking of no direction, no leadership, just completely out of touch, crapola personified KCBS, led and owned by a bankrupt Odyssey that has no idea of what the hell they're doing, much like Cumulus. That's what is radio today. It's these companies who are not broadcast companies. They are simply anything. They're corporate behemoths. And they simply buy because it's cheap now. A lot of them are hedge funds. And all they're looking for and doing is the opportunity at the time when they see fit to either dump them, or declare another bankruptcy. That's their MO because radio is dead. I've said it for years now. I'd hoped that somebody out there, group of people that had the financial cachet, could buy, say, a KGO or a KSFO or the old KFRC, any frequency, and start up a news talk outlet. That ain't in the works. It's just simply nobody wants to try. And even these high end millionaires, billionaires, they don't want to lose any money. And they don't have or want to throw $10 million at what they perceive as a losing proposition. Thus, we have the sardines left, like KCBS, a joke, and KNBR. Oh, you got a couple of good ratings books. Yeah, you're not WFAN. You're not WIP. You're not LA down in Los Angeles where they have decent sports radio and news radio. So what we're left with, folks, is a pile of manure, unfortunately. Some blunt takes on a Friday. I hope to be back. Aren't you happy? Because this thing, drink a lot of water. Take your aspirin, take what's the vitamin C shit that you take before you go on the airplanes. Because this shit is just going around, whatever. COVID's back and all that stuff too. In any event, it's Friday. Have a great weekend and we'll see you later. Oh, please. Those of you that donate, make a contribution to 415 Media. You can go right up there on my PayPal donate button. I will give you a personal schmooze. I will call you. Thank you. Those of you who have made donations, contributions, same thing. I'm just trying to make it sound real good, important, which it is. Thanks. I do Bay Area media every day, at least when I'm not sick. And God, this thing is crappy. It is helpful that you contribute so I can continue to give you all this great stuff and me. Don't I look funny? Don't I look great? Okay. Thanks a lot.